Hey guys, it's Cyrus of Chaos. I'm here with Ivan Lee, and today we're going to be talking about the semifinal between Gubon Gil and Alexey Yakimenko in the semifinals of the Kazan World Championships in 2014. Go ahead.
Okay. So my experience with Yakimenko is a lot more storied than my experience with Gu. I've actually never fenced Gu. I'm sure he hit the scene well after I was retired. Yakimenko is only 2 years younger than I am, so I
Okay.
actually fenced him when he was a cadet and when he was a junior. Um,
So you've really
so
been like parallel to Yakimenko throughout his entire career.
I'm sorry.
So you've really been like right there with Yakimenko throughout his entire career to see him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Boy, let me see. The first time he and I fenced each other was 2001, so
Oh
that's
wow.
19 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've known each other for a long time. 2001 Junior Worlds in the top eight. I fenced him. I beat him to make the top four. That was the first time I saw him, and he was very impressive then. So it was not an easy win. It was probably one of the harder bouts I had that day. Um, and then a few years later, I fenced him again at the New York Grand Prix in 2004 in the top eight, and I beat him again then.
Wow.
And again, not an easy bout. And then the next time I fenced him was 2007 at a World Cup in, and I want to say Athens, and he destroyed me. I think he beat me like 15-7 then. So that bout's on YouTube if you want to see about me getting creamed. um, so we have a little bit of a history. We fenced each other in team events as well. But I'm very familiar with his style of play. Gu I've never fenced. I would guess I'm at least 10 years older than him. So I don't know what his date of birth is, but I'm sure I'm way older than him. So, um, but I have watched a lot of him, and so I have a little bit of experience watching him. Um, if I had to guess before watching a bout like this, I would probably guess that Yakimenko would win, just based on the fact that he's a very strategic fencer, and I usually go with the strategist over the technician or the athlete any day. So we'll see how this goes down.
Yeah.
Big chance to win it again. Well, you underestimate.
Yeah, Goose technique is amazing, and Yakimenko is very unconventional to say the least.
Yes.
In our second semifinal match.
So right there, you see Gu is going for actions right away. He's not looking to be too conservative, which is. So Gu going for action straight out the box is like, that's really telling. Obviously, like when a fencer is very aggressive from the first touch, you're trying to send a message, let them know you're not playing around.
Mm-hmm.
But when it doesn't work, sometimes it can kind of take the wind out of you. So we'll see how he responds to that.
Yeah. And this is during an era of refereeing where they don't call a ton of preparation, so
Right.
going for an action is even more risky.
Yeah. So he's pulling distance. Yakimenko is just running back and giving him space. To me, it didn't really look like Yakimenko was really trying on that touch. It looked like he was just kind of
14-meter piece.
gather information. I know that's the kind of fence he is. He likes to gather information early on, so maybe he just let Gu attack him to see what kind of attack he's featuring.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if I saw Gu get another touch like this for the rest of the bout. Be very surprised. Just the way he went back. It looks like Yakimenko was just testing him out to see what kind of attack he's featuring.
And look at how close that was to missing.
Say that again?
And look at how close that attack was to missing.
Yeah, it was very close to missing.
Action, 14-meter piece.
But he's very comfortable. Notice Yakimenko is very comfortable at the end of the strip. So it doesn't look like he's going to let him do that too much more in this bout.
Yeah. Yakimenko's favorite action on defense is to just kind of step in and take a totally random parry, which makes people scared to finish against him even when he's just running backwards.
Yes, and I think what his plan is to get his opponent caught between taking the extra step and hitting him in preparation with making getting him to finish so that he can make him fall short. So if he can just balance the two, then he's in control. And when he's fencing his best, he's balancing the two. He does attack and preparation, then he makes you fall short and runs you down. I think that's really what the rhythm he's trying to get Gu into. But Gu is also very smart, and I think he does a very good job of deciding when to finish directly and deciding when to add an extra step.
Yeah, he does. And his technique helps with that a lot. He's always putting himself in a good position to be able to do either physically. So
Yes.
Wow.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Russians are very good with the attack, and having Christian Bauer as a coach, as Yakimenko did at that time, just makes it better because they're already very good with the attack, and Christian teaches a very good attack. So a touch like that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I want to make one more comment about this. A lot of people, when they start going forward, especially at the low level, it's like they want to be as fast as possible, but they have a lot of momentum. And so here, Yakimenko gets his blade taken, and look at his balance right there. It looks like he's really falling forward, but he's able to complete that step and totally stop.
Stop, yes. I honestly, it's. I think it's designed that way.
Yeah, totally.
Designed that way. Therefore, that's how it's designed. Ironically, who's very good at that as well is Keith. Keith Smart was very good at that. He would take off, and you would think that he's about to run you down the strip. So a lot of fences knew they couldn't make him fall short, so they would try to cut him right away, and he would stop on a dime and parry them.
Yeah.
So I think that's premeditated. I think the way that he takes off is to kind of draw the counterattack out so he can take a parry post.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And based on the way Christian just reacted, you can tell he had been working on that in the lesson.
Yeah, totally. It's a very important skill to have. Yeah. Just like separating your steps and being able to stop. Because even though he wanted to do advanced lunge, he needed to change his mind very quickly there. And he was able to because of his footwork.
Absolutely.
No separation.
Looks like they're gonna give that one to
Gu, unhappy with the call, asked
to Gu.
a video review. Vedat Al-Bakri of
Probably gonna say he hit first. Let's see.
of Hungary. Manning the
Me personally, I would call simultaneous. Gu clearly hits first, but I'm a little old school. I like to call, and they call simultaneous. I like to call the intention, and it looks like they're both trying to hit. I wouldn't split anything that tight.
Honestly, in this era, that's more likely to be given to Yakimenko than it is to Gu anyway. So,
right.
Wow.
So I think that's another example right there of Yakimenko just trying to stick with that attacking preparation and then distance, but Gu has that extra long attack, and I think that's what Gu's going to use to keep him honest.
So I have fenced Gu, and this is a very scary part of fencing him, is that he is so much longer than you think he is, even when you are expecting him to be long. Like you have to just like you have to fence him like someone who's a foot taller than him.
Right.
Because, like, this little pull is not going to do it.
It's not enough. No, his acceleration is amazing.
Yeah. And the way he, like, collapses in his lunge, he just gets every single inch that he has.
Yeah. So now Yakimenko. Now Gu's got him in his web now because he just got Yakimenko to not go back anymore. So it's Yakimenko. Gu knows Yakimenko's going forward. He's not going to try to pull distance again, and Gu hits him in preparation.
Mm-hmm.
At least it seems that way. I think you gave me a touch on that. Yeah. So now Gu's got him in his web, and he probably think, okay, it's not working backward, it's not working forward. Now Yakimenko has to make a change. He has to change something. Either pull more steps back when he pulls distance, or a sharper finish in the box.
Yeah, because the timing when he tried to pull was correct. He just didn't add enough space to it.
Correct.
There we go.
And is it right there? Right.
Did you see how far back he had to go on that one?
Yeah. Oh, I love this attack. So this is an old school. That's an old school attack. I love that attack.
Let's watch that whole touch again.
That was an excellent attack. I like that one. So he did a sharp false contact, but now he's not even trying to stay there. He's going all the way back. Yeah.
And I think Gu hit him on the leg there too.
He did hit him on the leg, yeah. But he had to take a couple extra steps back. So now it's a stage attack. He's patient. He's waiting for the contact. And when he realizes he's not going to contact, then he finishes with a feint cut. And the key to this is The first half of your attack, you're defending against the counterattack. The second half of your attack, you're defending against the parry post. You have to assume if he's not going to go for counterattack, he's going to go for parry. So you can't cut straight. And right here, he's looking like he's going head, and then he switches, and he takes the 5, and then he cuts underneath.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful attack.
The whole thing was really well done.
Yes. And now Gu.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, wasn't a bad idea, but just didn't work.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
you just have good technique. I think that's what Yakimenko's trying not to do, is fall short of in this bout.
Yeah, Gu's attack is so strong. I mean, both of them have very, very strong attacks.
Yeah, if Yakimenko can get that touch every single time, he'll never go back.
Yeah.
He'll stay in the box about if he can get that.
Oh, they called
And
Simon.
they throw it out. Yeah, they call Simon. I was gonna say, if Yakimenko can get that touch every touch,
That's
he
a problem.
would never go back. I wouldn't.
So this is the touch we were talking about before. They gave it to Gu once, they throw it out once, and now Yakimenko's asking why that's not his again.
Yeah, like in that situation, like honestly, like there's an argument that could be made for Gu. There is an argument that can make for Yakimenko, because I think his argument is that he's trying to close him out, and I see what he's saying. But in that situation, once they've already established that they're going to throw it out, I wouldn't even bother arguing. I would just let it go. Like, all right, well, he might be a little bit ahead. They're going to throw it out. I might be a little bit ahead. They're going to throw it out. Okay, no problem. So then at least I know that it's a matter of me being a full tempo ahead, or taking an extra step back when I pull distance. Like I can't cut corners when I'm trying to do these tight actions. They're
Exactly.
not going to pull it tight. It's not going to make it big.
During this era, the way that they called attack and preparation was only preparation with an extra step. So if Gu is trying to make like an advanced lunge and is getting hit in that advance, then they'll call it. But for like a line change or just like a little bit of holding with the hand, they would not call that preparation.
Yeah, so then there's no point. Then that's good. Then at least he understands, like I got to go for the big action. The only problem is, if I'm Yakimenko, listen, if I got to make that false contact. I got to make that false contact really, really believable. Because if not, I'm going to run me off the edge of the strip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's the one. There it is again.
Yeah, he wants to touch badly.
Yeah. I mean, he's hitting ahead, but like that's just what was called in that era.
I understand because listen, I fenced the era right before these guys, right? And it's like I got that touch so many times, and when I get that touch, my opponent is going to fall short at the next touch, and I'm going to run him down the strip, and I'm going to control him. If I get that touch, if I get that attack in preparation, my opponent's he's done. Like, I'm going to win about 15-5 every single time
That's a big problem.
Because after I hit you in preparation like that, you have to finish the next touch. I'm going to make you fall short. I'm going to run you down the strip. So, I mean, neither one of them getting these tight calls in the box really means that they're going to have to take risks. They're going to have to start going for blade parry.
Yeah, blade parry was a really strong action during this time because it's one of the few things that will work no matter what the timing is.
Exactly. So. And I think, whoever wins this battle is going to be the one who takes those risks.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice parry post. That's good. That's premeditated. I like that. If you know where, I think the key for him is just knowing where he's going to cut. And like I said, if he already gathered information earlier on and he knew where Gu was going to cut, or if he figured out some kind of pattern, one time he's cutting to the left, one time he's cutting to the right, or whatever it is. If you can figure out a pattern, or he's consistently cutting the same place, then you can take that risk and know exactly where to go for parry. So
yeah, it's not as much of a risk at that point too.
No, it's a very smart calculated move. Now Yakimenko will be smart right now to go for attack and preparation the next touch. Let's see what he does.
Because Gu's going to be primed to hold a little bit.
Yeah. He did hold.
Yeah.
And it looks like Yakimenko took over. So yeah, like I said, if he can get that touch, he's in the driver's seat. Got him to stop because he didn't want to get hit with a parry again, and Yakimenko takes over. I don't have a problem with that. I like that's a good strategy.
Ooh.
And now he gets the And it gets that long attack, yeah. See, here is where if Yakimenko's smart, if he's smart, and he's got more balance.
And still barely hit.
Yep, still lands it. So now you got a 3-touch lead. Now you have to see. I didn't see that touch. I don't know what happened there.
Nobody did.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So, but what I was saying when it was 7-4, I was like, if he's smart now, I would just have my foot on his neck. I wouldn't give him any breathing room. I would try to make it 8-4 and go into the break, and just try to come out the second half and stomp him so that I could, have a smooth end to the bout.
Yeah, basically, this is not a time to let up the pressure. This is a time to put on more pressure.
Right, to start going for more actions. Like me, if I hit him with a parry post, I got him to stop, take over, and then I hit him with a long tack. I would start right back from the beginning. I would go for another parry post, because I'm figuring at this point now, Gu would be kind of foolish to take an extra step. You got to figure he's either going to stop or he's going to lunge. Yeah. So worst case scenario, if I go for a parry and we both stop, I can take over. I got it the last time. Why not go for it again? Last thing I want to do is attack right now if I'm Yakimenko. I want to go for an action.
Yeah.
And he goes to parry post. And he gets it. Right. So and that's smart. And so now if you're Yakimenko, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I got what I'm looking for. I got the chain of actions going. I got a successful parry. I took over one time. I got a long attack. I got another parry. And now I can go into the second half building on it. If I'm Gu, the last thing I want to do is attack. I got to start, making actions in the box. I got to start doing some false contacts and getting Yakimenko to commit and lunge in the box. Get him out of his comfort zone.
Exactly, because Yakimenko feels very comfortable going forward, not getting that prep called against him.
Right, of course, because, they got thrown out a couple times.
Let's see if they both do that. So there's that not prep again.
Yeah, Medhat Al-Bakri, I believe, is the referee here, the Egyptian referee. From what I understand, he has a reputation of being very, very consistent, but also very honest. So, if he hasn't been calling it this whole bout, he's not going to call it now. So it looks like these tiny, fine actions are going to be thrown out. They're going to be called simultaneous. So this, the idea hasn't changed for either fencer. You either go big or go home.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the second time that happened in this bout. So Yakimenko, now you realize if you're pulling distance, you have to go far or do attack in preparation. And now Yakimenko goes for attack in preparation because and this is where reffing is really important. Because if you have a fencer who's taking an extra step or winding up to go for an extra long attack, the only logical thing for you to do is do attack in preparation. If you don't get it because the referee doesn't give it to you, that you your opponent's getting 2 for 1 because now they can wind up, go for the extra long attack, land it, and then even if you hit them in preparation, still not getting called against them. They're never going to cut straight. They're just going to wind up and keep attacking, every single touch. So, it's very important for the referee to give that touch to Yakimenko so to keep Gu honest, and that's the only way Yakimenko will be able to execute a strategy. If he doesn't do that, Gu's going to run it down the strip every single touch. He'll never go back.
It's really funny that you said that because I got into a very long, frustrating conversation with a foil fencer online about this, about how in Sabre that needs to be called attack counterattack, and I was saying if you don't call that attack in preparation, there's no risk ever in doing that. You just hold as much as you want, and
I will wind up a single touch.
Exactly, because if you take away the preparation, which balances the parry repose, there's no reason to ever finish short. And if it's not being called against you, then it just the bout devolves into two people running at each other and not taking actions. So
yeah, I would never go back. If I know I can wind up, land every single time you go back, and then every single time you cut in, I still get the touch, or at worst simultaneous.
Yes,
I'll never go.
Exactly.
I'm going forward every single touch, and I'm never going to cut straight. Never gonna. I would literally go forward and look, and the minute I see a hesitation or you stop, I'm finishing with feint cut.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't, I'll just finish straight. knowing that's not going to be called against me, I'll never go back.
Speaking of not going backwards, that was called simultaneous. So,
yeah, wow, that's crazy. See, now this is a situation that this touch is very weird. It should be Goose, right? Like in terms of the idea,
yep.
Right? Yakimenko stopped, Gu finished his attack, but Gu now, because that last touch got called simultaneous, he got so confident that he could finish his attack, and worst case scenario would be called simultaneous. He got so confident, Yakimenko literally was going to go for parry pose. I think he was going to go for parry pose, and when he realized that wasn't going to work, he switched at the last second to counterattack. And it's really just the fact that his hand was so fast that he got that touch.
Yeah.
But I think his initial...
The hard thing about this touch is it's not something that you can really get consistently. You back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I think the hard thing about this touch is it's not really something that you can get consistently.
No. Gu's not going to... The next time Gu sees that, he's gonna make something. Gu really thought Yakimenko was gonna go back.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go back because he didn't get the previous touch. The attacking preparation that he went for, he didn't get that. So he probably figured, okay, he's gonna go back now. So let me wind up. And I think Yakimenko was gonna go back, and I think he realized that wasn't gonna work. Let me switch.
Yeah, it's almost just like a reality check a little bit. So
yeah.
it'll make him not hold that much, but because preparation still isn't being called, he's not gonna change too much.
No. And I think he gave him the reprise on that one.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I disagree.
Yeah, especially by our modern standards.
Yeah, I can't say that I disagree with that. Obviously, I started fencing in a time where that would be simultaneous 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what I know about this era of fencing, I cannot say that I disagree with that call. And I think that's probably where Gu's going to have to take his chances because, running at him in the box is just not helping. Yeah, so he gave him the touch. Okay, he gave him the reprise. That's probably where Gu's going to have to take his chances because just running at Yakimenko is not. I don't think it's going to help him. Yakimenko wants him to run at him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Simultaneous. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And usually like I on a high level like this, usually don't see too many simultaneous. Usually don't see like 2, 3, or 4 in a row. That's very, very rare. So when you see that many simultaneouses in a row, that says to me either the referee's just not calling anything in the box, or there's just a fear. There's a natural
yes,
fear
exactly.
Because whatever is happening is not working. Neither one of us are feeling our parries. Neither one of us are feeling the distance. And so we're just going to keep going forward and hope something happens. Either that or the referee's just not calling anything. So when you see that many simultaneous actions on a level this high, it's top 4 senior world. So, it's got to be one or the other.
Yep, totally.
Nobody's defense is working or the referee's calling nothing in the box.
And I always tell young referees that like you shouldn't guess on actions, but when your bout in Sabre has a ton of simultaneouses, it's probably because your window is too wide for what you're calling in the center. Sure. And this was the way that this era was. So this reffing is perfectly correct for this era. It just doesn't lead to very interesting fencing, in my opinion. But or at least people feel like they have to take like a huge risk in order to get an action because simultaneous is so much safer. So. Oh, finally, Gu decided to take a risk.
Yeah. It's good. Okay, so he called parry post. Yep. And I think that's how he worked his way back into this bout. I think Yakimenko's a little frustrated. He broke strategy. Yakimenko doesn't need to lunge. There's no need for him to attack in the box. Yeah.
And that's either reprise or simul. And this time, I think it was called simul.
Yeah, so now there's a little inconsistency here on the referee's part, but if you just look at and how Gu has changed. He made a subtle change. If you notice that, Yakimenko lunging in the box is the last thing he wants to do. And I know
Yep.
Christian Bauer, a coach, is the last thing he wants his students to do. He wants them to take stages, go in, go out, take over. The last thing he wants them to do is lunge in the box. So if Gu can get him to fall short and then he can get a reprieve, that gets him back into the bout strategically. I think though, what Gu is doing is he's coming forward, stopping, and then taking over right away, whereas Yakimenko is literally trying to make him fall short. So with that big jump back, that's where Gu has that half a step ahead of him on the reprise. And he got the first one. He doesn't get this one. I mean, if he gets it consistently, he can take control of the bout. If he doesn't get it consistently, or doesn't get it again, or doesn't get it at all, then Yakimenko has a chance to kind of like take over a little faster, or go for more blade parry post, or whatever it is.
Because essentially he's being given another 2-for-1.
He's getting another 2-for-1. Correct.
And for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about when we say that, Sabre is very much like a rock, paper, scissors game, and giving someone a 2-for-1 is kind of like saying that rock now beats paper in this situation. So it's very much minimizing the options of the other person if you allow them to get away with a 2-for-1 too often.
So this one ends up being one light, but I'm kind of thinking Gu would have gotten it anyway, even if it was 2 lights. It looks like Gu was starting. So again, right, Gu's coming forward, he's stopping, and then he's taking over immediately, whereas Yakimenko's doing that big jump back, and that's where Gu's taking over. That big jump back, that's an old school Russian thing. Like I fenced in the era of the Sharakovs and the Shirshovs and the Poznikovs, and that was their thing. Make you fall short, do this big sweeping jump back, and then take over. And the referees back in that era did not call the quick reprise. They didn't call, if you fell short, they were giving the little bit of extra time to that person to take over, and you would get the riposte.
Yep.
So, and Yakimenko started fencing during that time. So sometimes, for fencers who started fencing in that era, I would say pre-2004, it's kind of hard for them to break out of that style.
Yeah, it's a hard habit to break.
It's a hard habit to break. And Gu being a little younger, he might have been trained into coming forward, stopping, and then continuing right away to get that quick reprise. So that's where, including the last 2 touches, that's where the difference in how you take over kind of benefited Gu.
That's interesting. I never thought of that as like an era difference.
Yeah, man. I modeled my game after Sergei Sharakov, may he rest in peace. My favorite fencer, and I love watching him fence, and I literally tried to model my game after him. And so I would study his bouts. I mean, all my bouts of him are on VHS cassette, so I'm aging myself a little bit. But I watched tons of his bouts, and he did that big sweeping distance riposte and would get it. If you came forward and stopped, once he did that big distance riposte, if you tried to cut in, he's making the riposte. And because the referees in that era, late 90s, early 2000s, they gave the riposte over the reprise.
The reprise, yeah.
He destroyed people that way,
Yeah, another reason you got to change with the times.
Got to change with the times, because Yakimenko fenced in both eras, and touches like that he would have gotten back in those days. But he was a cadet and junior back then, and he is a 2-time junior world champion. So clearly he did get him back then.
Yeah.
Zip his jacket.
So another simultaneous 10-9. Another simultaneous. Gu just got the last 4 touches. So,
Yes, exactly.
Yakimenko's not too confident right now. He's probably hoping that he makes a mistake. And he's even changing the way he cuts, going from flunge to lunge.
Again, a couple of simultaneous actions in a row.
I don't really think he wants to take a risk right now. Now, I can't say that I blame him.
What their opponent's doing, and they work off that. They both go for
That's,
attacking
what's
work.
that, 4 simultaneous in a row?
I think either 3 or 4, yeah.
If you can pause for a second, like for me, just a message to all the young fencers, because I see this so many times on the local level, on the regional level, and not to compare that to this in any way, shape, or form, but just the idea of, if you go simultaneous 2-3 times in a row, 1 or 2 things has to happen. Either A, your opponent is cutting to the same place every single time, or B, your opponent has this pattern as to how they're cutting, right? It's one or the other. Very rarely is a fencer that focused on where they're cutting, right? It doesn't happen too often. Usually in a tense situation like this, they're cutting to wherever they feel most comfortable.
And their habits kind of come out at that point.
I'm sorry?
And their habits kind of come out at that point.
Exactly. So they're cutting to where they feel comfortable. So if you're paying attention, you have to know where your opponent's going to cut. If Yakimenko were thinking along those lines, you know, that invitation parry or that parry in close distance that he was doing before, now would be the perfect time to execute it. Y'all don't want 3-4 times simultaneous in a row. Gu's either cutting, you know, it's either like a pattern, one time up, one time down, one time left, one time right, or he's cutting to the same place every time. Either way, you got to pay attention, and this is for both fences really. You got to pay attention to where your opponent is cutting, and at some point, you have to make an educated guess as to where they're going to cut this time and go for that parry because, you know, I mean, at this point, you know, big risk, big reward. You know, that's, you know, kind of what it takes on this level.
I think this may be interesting that, like, if you do simul too many times, eventually your opponent is going to do an action. So in that respect, it can be risky not to take a risk. As weird as that sounds.
Yes, it can be dangerous.
Yeah, because if you just are putting yourself in this pattern over and over and don't want to do anything, then eventually they are going to do something different.
Yeah. And honestly, listen, I fenced more than enough bouts at 14-14, and I'm telling you right now, in my career, and I haven't had a gazillion 14-14 bouts, but I tell you right now, I can remember more often than not when I went for the action, I got it.
Yeah, it's the difference between, and even
when I try to grind it out, that I lost.
Even if you don't get it, it's the difference between striking out looking and striking out swinging. At least you tried to do something.
Absolutely. Yep. You never can hit a home run on a cold on a cold pitch, the pitch that you take.
Exactly.
But every swing, perfect or not, is a potential home run. So you gotta go for the action.
Yes.
Two will not attack, and then it's whether they can employ their tactic properly. At this time,
Okay, Yakimenko went for the action.
Exactly.
Got the parry. And honestly, I don't even. I mean, that was. Yeah, I think it looked like he was going for counterattack first.
Yes,
he switched
I like that very much too.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get it from this weird angle. So it's hard to see, but last time in this situation, he counterattacked Gu right here. So this time Gu's going to finish shorter because he remembers.
That's the counterattack, yeah, and then he switches at the last second, right? Because that's not a conventional looking parry 3, right? Like it looks like he's getting ready to cut in, and then I guess he saw where he was cutting.
Yeah, that was a very high level action.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating. and honestly, if you look at Christian's face on that, like, oh wow, look at that. Now, that's interesting. But if you look at Christian's face on the previous touch, it's clear that even Christian knew he got away with that. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, I'll take it, but it's not what we planned, right?
Yeah.
And then he pulls this one, this next touch, which is amazing right here.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
that's pure tactics.
Strategy. Parry, one time counterattack. I mean, it's beautiful, right? Like, strategically, it's beautiful. This is the way you want to fence. But there's also an argument that can be made that both of those touches were, like, you kind of got away with them. You know what I mean? Like, strategically, it makes sense, but you got to kind of, it wasn't the best execution of either one, and he got away with both of them, right?
I love the way that he's doing it with his preparation. He makes them both look so similar.
Yes, he does. He really does. That counterattack really almost looked like the other one, like the exact same setup, and this time he just keeps it there.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the point where he actually counterattacked, Gu had enough time to change lines completely. So if Yakimenko went for another parry post, you got to think yourself, Gu probably would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's beautiful, but you're just hoping that, like, he planned it, because it really looks like he kind of got away with it. But either way, they both work, and now he's got a one-touch lead. Okay, so this one you got to give to Gu. I understand what Yakimenko was trying to do, but you stopped.
Yes, exactly.
You stopped. You stopped.
He's clearly trying to get a counterattack, and it's.
And I think what I think this was premeditated. But I think what Yakimenko was hoping from Gu
was that he would stop. Exactly.
Yeah, because he just hit him with a parry post and then a counterattack. So if you hit someone with a parry post and then a counterattack, your opponent's not going to be in such a rush to attack. So I think Yakimenko was thinking Gu's probably going to stop, and then I'm going to take over. But Gu never stopped. So it's not a bad decision to make on Yakimenko's part. It's just that Gu didn't stop.
Yes, exactly.
And this is where you play chess with each other, So, yeah. But it was the right call.
Yes, I agree. And I think Yakimenko is now out of videos.
Yeah, that wasn't a smart challenge.
No. Ooh!
Oh, see, and now because he got flustered, because nothing, he got flustered, and now he starts attacking again. If you notice throughout the course of this bout, every single time Yakimenko attacks in the box, he loses. Every single time. He hasn't landed one attack in the box yet, right? He might have gotten attack in preparation, but one direct attack in the box, Gu's either made him fall short or taken a parry post. It hasn't been that many times. The only thing maybe once or twice, but he hasn't landed them at all. So, whereas Gu's landed his attacks in the box, Yakimenko hasn't. So, if you're Christian Bauer, you're telling him, listen, anything but that.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not getting punished most of the time that he does a long attack. It's either simul or it's his. So
yeah. Okay, back to simultaneous.
With a little bit of holding. That's important.
Yeah, it's a little bit of holding, but I guess that's already been established that they're not going to get punished. I think both fencers know at this point they're not going to get punished for it.
Exactly.
So it's another simultaneous.
Mm-hmm. And this one, Yakimenko's holding more than any of the others.
Yeah. But he knows he's not going to get called. He's not going to get called.
Exactly.
So, it's not a bad move for him to take because if you're Yakimenko, you're literally waiting for Gu to do any kind of hesitation or show any signs of going back so you can run him down the strip.
And the priority is just not to finish short.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. So you got to give that one to Yakimenko. Gu, I think, probably thought Yakimenko was going to pull distance again, and he wound up with the hand.
Yeah.
You even see a little bit of feint 3 cut 4.
Exactly.
Straight. So that's a good call. And clearly that's what it takes to get the attack in preparation. I think Yakimenko's probably frustrated, like, why wasn't I getting those earlier?
Yes.
Well, they were a little finer earlier.
Yeah.
It's got to be more obvious. So he got it that time. So now you're 12-12. If I at 12-12 right now, I'm going for parry post. Call me old school, but I'm going for play parry post right now. See, he tried that action again.
He tried the counterattack.
But Gu finished this time.
Trying to find a power opponent without any success. Gu back in the lead.
And see, now Yakimenko feeling as he has nothing else is working, he's going back to grinding it out. Grinding it out. So when you're getting all the touches that you want, you feel a lot more confident. When you don't get them, it's your first reaction is to grind it out. Because really what's happening right now is Yakimenko's he's a little confused and he's a little scared. He's just kind of like, okay, I don't feel confident in my parry post. I don't want to run back and let this guy run me off the strip because I already saw what happened on the first time, like the first touch of the bout.
Yeah.
I don't want to go for another attack in preparation because the last time I got it didn't work. Yakimenko does not feel very confident right now, and he's down a touch. And he knows if he loses another touch, he's got his back to the wall.
Yeah,
so, he's really hoping right now, and I've been in this situation. It's scary. But I think right now Yakimenko is literally hoping for a one-light action.
Yeah.
Hoping that he closes him out or something.
It's happened a couple times.
There's the third one, and it's been on the fourth.
And I think Gu feels confident that he can just grind it out until Yakimenko messes up.
Yeah, he's winning most of the actions in the box when Yakimenko tries to do something. Well,
Exactly.
that's not exactly true.
I mean, in theory, he's winning.
Yeah.
They're being called simultaneous. But Gu's confident right now. He's got no reason to go back. Gu has no reason to go back unless he wants to take a parry post. He's got no reason to go back. And he knows that Yakimenko does not want to go back.
How many simuls is that now? 5?
5 in a row, yeah. It's 5 in a row. That's unheard of for a level of this kind. But like you said, things aren't getting called in the box.
6?
Yeah, I think Yakimenko's really just hoping for one light.
Yeah.
He's just hoping for something, just to tie it up to kind of loosen the tensity there. Yeah, simultaneous. 13-12 Gu.
Oh, he
Wow.
missed.
So it looks like, I mean, Yakimenko stops. I can't tell what's going on with the blade action, but if I had to guess, it looks like, oh, we're gonna see right here. Looks like parry post.
Yeah, that replay didn't help at all, but I think it's Gu's touch.
Yeah, I think it's parry. But it wasn't the cleanest parry post in the world, but
We'll take it.
There's some blade contact with no light, so I think it looks like parry post. I don't know. But either way, let's just talk about the strategy, right? Regardless of whether they give this to Gu or Yakimenko, Gu went for the action again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes for the action again when Yakimenko does not want to fall short. He goes for the action again, and I think that when you have someone that's scared and their back is up against the wall,
Simul.
wow, he blew that out. Wow. So I'm guessing. Either he thought one thing and the video ref
Thought something
else, and they agreed to throw it out. That's the only thing I could think of, because that's not simultaneous. So it must be, the call must have been no touch, not simultaneous.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And another simultaneous.
So what, 8 or 9 in a row if we count that last one?
Right? Like 7, 8, something like that. It's a lot.
Ooh!
He goes for it again. It wasn't a bad move, but Gu having his hand in the right place.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens. You have your hand in the right place. Yep, his hand was right there. He takes that 4 and makes the counter repulse. And nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. It's part of the game. Yakimenko went for the right action at the right time to tie it up, and Gu had an answer for it. I can live with losing on touches like that. You know, like you go for the action, your opponent goes for the action, it happens.
And not just that, but he did something amazing there. Like, that's really hard to do.
It's hard to do. Like, honestly, you know, if you're an opponent, you got to tip your hat off to that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You earned it. Good touch. You know, it's frustrating, but you got to take it. Wow.
That's 2.
Yeah. Simultaneous. Okay.
Three.
Oh, okay. That's simultaneous. Albaku's not calling anything. He ain't playing around. Y'all gonna have to earn this touch. I don't got a problem with that. Earn the touch. I mean, you know, it's gotta be obvious, but earn the touch.
Mm-hmm.
Making them earn the touch. Because at the end of the day, you know, no matter what angle they're coming at, the bottom line is they're both attacking in the box. Neither one of them is really winding up or going for an action. They're both attacking, so make them earn. Make him earn. He's gonna make him earn. And at this point, he's very consistent, so they know. So here we are, 14-12. Yakimenko's got to be scared out of his mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the one time in the bout that he tried to make a long attack that he actually got punished for it.
Yeah. I mean, once at that point, you know, Gu's got to be thinking, this guy's going to grind it out. He grinded it out 5-6 times before. You know, why not grind it out again? And he went for the action.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, big risk, big reward. You know, Yuri always used to tell us, you know, he who goes to the parry gets the touch more often than. And that bout, it was a perfect example of fencers who scored when they went for the action more often than not. You know, even Yakimenko, you know, he got more parries than not. Gu got more parries than not, but Gu got him at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. Who was it who said you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take?
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky, okay, yeah. Smart man. All right. Thank you, Ivan. This was really good.
No problem.